What's the most important thing that you've learned from school? The most important thing that I ever learned from school was nothing. Growing up, school didn't really feel like a challenge for me, and instead, it felt more of a chore. Not because I was inherently super smart, although a lot of things came very easy to me, but I never felt like I was truly learning anything. I do truly feel that school is helpful, but I believe that our systems are flawed. And I feel that way even more so now. Just coming off of my third semester here at UT Austin, I genuinely feel strange. Why strange? It's because I feel like I genuinely haven't learned much. And I came here because I wanted to be at one of the best institutions in the entire country. When it comes to learning from professors and using UT's resources in order to learn stuff, it's been subpar. And I don't think it's necessarily on UT's half. I think it's just the way that we've institutionalized schools in general. I think the main issue just stems from the school system itself. It's super outdated, and the mechanisms that they used to use for students back then are not necessarily applicable for people of today. Whenever the world wars were making place, and it was a big thing in order to make people into employees or to be soldiers and things of that nature, they implemented these rules or this system in order to make them into that. And not to see any development or change since then is unfathomable to me. How can you tell me that decades later we still have the same systems as we were using whenever we were in war times? It just doesn't make sense. One thing that I think about the school system as well is that it kills creativity. I remember growing up and having big dreams and aspirations, and I know as soon as I started coming into school that those thoughts, those ideas started dying. When I thought of I guess, the reality of how I would become these things or how I could do big things, how I was told just growing up just to be in school and get good grades in order to be an employee for the rest of my life. And the truth is, nowadays, nobody wants to be an employee. In this society, everybody is striving to be an entrepreneur, myself included. And it's just very difficult whenever you have these systems that are built and trained to teach us to be employees, to let our creativity fly and soar throughout the skies. It's difficult. See, I heard something recently from a famous influencer where he basically just asked this kid as he's playing this game, and he asks, "Well, what do you like to do?" And the kid responds, "Oh, well, I'd like to play soccer." And he's like, "Okay, well, great. Do that. You love soccer, you want to do soccer, you want to play soccer. Do soccer as your job. Make it your job. Make the thing that you love into your job." We always look at these content creators or these fashion designers, these models, these people that are living the life that we desire, yet we don't strive for it ourselves. It's not that that goal is unreachable, but in our brain, we kind of think that those people are almost better than us, that, well, we can never be like them. But that's not true. And I think that all stems from just the initial school system itself. It traps us in a bubble and makes us think that we are no better than the society and the system that they created. I mentioned this multiple times, but I don't want to be an employee for the rest of my life. The life that my parents have created for themselves through being employees, I've already seen where they can go. I've seen the heights that they've been able to reach and the barriers that they encounter as well. The boundaries that hold them financially, emotionally, just in general. And how do I break free of that system? I have to hold on to that creativity, those skills that school itself doesn't teach me in order to thrive, in order to live. I've been rambling on, but let me bring it back full circle. What is the most important thing that I've learned from school? It's genuinely nothing. And I can tell you two lessons right now that I learned from not being in school. And one of them is from when I first started working. When I first started working, I started to realize, wow, I am really socially awkward. Wow, I can really not talk to people. And What did my job force me to do? What did the real world force me to be? It forced me to be a communicator. It forced me to be a doer and not a looker. I started realizing that the life that I wanted, the life that I always dreamt of, I had to actually take action in order to live the life that I wanted to live. This process that I've gone through, this channel even, is just a representation of the change and the shift that I've made in my own life to take initiative. I've always wanted to do some type of content. I've always watched YouTube growing up, and this is my representation of the person that I am, the dream that I aspire to have. It kind of I could have never expected it to look like this, but this is my perfect medium. I will say something. Although I don't feel like school is very helpful, I guess in the time and place that it's at, I understand why we have these regulations and policies because, we want people to be at least at a certain threshold in order to understand that they're mentally capable of doing certain jobs. But I also know that you can virtually teach anybody to do anything. And putting it behind a 4-year paywall is kind of unfortunate, but I get it. I kind of stuffed a two in one right there, but I'll re say it one more time. What did the real world teach me? First off, it taught me to be a communicator. One thing that I've realized is that people are genuinely the most important tool that is available in life. If you want to genuinely learn something about how to live life and just how you should even look at life, talk to people. I didn't understand it at first, but now it seems so clear. We are all here for one purpose, to live the one life that we have. And how can we do that to the best of our abilities? We do it by uniting and being one. By uniting and putting our knowledge all together, we become stronger because now we are the sum of all these parts. That's how businesses work. It's genuinely just connections of who do I know? Who can I hire? Who can I do this? Who can do this? Everything just stems off of communication. I can have these amazing credentials and I can have a PhD, a doctorate, a bachelor's. I can even have an associate's, something. I'm going down the line, but I'm saying no matter the level of education that you have, if you do not know how to communicate with somebody, you might be able to get an interview, but you will never ace it. And that's why communication is one of the number one things that the school never taught me, but is the most important skill that I use on my day to day basis. And then, two, school taught me to stay in my own lane, to not think outside the box. It told me that as long as I listen to these instructions and just continue to look at the other people that lived before me, then I'll be fine. But the reality is, if I strive to always be somebody, then I can never truly be the best me. Thus, school tried to keep me in my own lane. School tried to keep me as an employee, but I don't want to be an employee. So, what did I learn from being in the real world, from being outside of school in this education sphere? I need to be somebody that takes action, that does stuff out of their own fruition. Not because somebody told me to, but it's because of what I want for my own life. These people, they go to college and they pay to have a degree in which they don't use, or even they pay to have this degree just to go back home and work a normal job. When I mean a normal job, I don't even mean corporate, just a normal ass job, one that you can get straight out of high school. Why? Communication and not stepping out the box. They don't want it bad enough. They don't want it. And why is that? Because school keeps us so shut in. We think that we cannot do any better. We say that this is what we're destined to do. We can never be the bosses or the managers. We can always only be the followers behind a leader. I want to be a leader. I want to be somebody that challenges others to think differently. That's something that school is not able to teach me, but I will try to teach y'all. Or at least I just want you to hear my opinions. But yeah, this was my small rant. After all this time of thinking about school and being in school and doing all this stuff pertaining to school, I just realized I really don't care about it. School itself, yeah, I think from time to time I do learn some nifty things that are useful, but in reality, I'm not going to use this in my actual day to day job. I'm going to be taught how to do my job at the day that I get hired. And that's just a fact. I don't even need prior knowledge. They will teach me how to do my job there. And that's just a fact. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to continue doing this side hustle or whatever this is because I genuinely love it. That's another thing. Nobody can tell me what to do because I'm not even doing it for them. I'm doing this for me. I don't even get enough love or attention to make this into a genuine source of income. But I bet you if I tried hard enough and I put in enough effort, then people will see my true intentions and people will love and support me for it. And that's what I want to show. I want to create a community of people that are able to talk within themselves and try to break out of that life that they think they deserve when they truly don't. I want them to think about what's really going on inside of their brain, analyze it, understand it, because at the end of the day, your mental matters more than anything else. Like I said, you can have these credentials, you can do all these amazing things, but if you're not a communicator with other people and let alone yourself, you will never get anywhere in life. And that's the message I'm going to leave with you today. Anyways, I appreciate you for watching. I'll catch you.